All right, welcome to our fourth lesson. I know we only have 3 videos, but 4 lessons. And this you can title Budget. Budgeting is so important. I can speak from personal experience. I have lived parts of my life without a budget, and I have lived parts of my life with a budget. And it is very difficult. You just make it more difficult when you don't have a budget. It's like not doing your homework. Do you do better in class? Yeah, I mean you can go to school and not do your homework, but if you do your homework, you'll do better. Okay, so what is budget? So think before you spend. That's the first thing. Okay, so that's what a budget helps you do. So we have all these things that we could purchase. You know, I mean, do I really need all these things? Gym socks? I don't need socks for gym. Shampoo? Who needs that? But I suppose some people do need these sorts of things. And so what you can do is you can create a budget and then you can stick to that budget, or at least compare what you've actually done to what you thought you would do. A budget is a plan, right? And we know, we'll write this down. If you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. You don't want to plan to fail, do you? So think before you spend vocabulary. Write all these down. Expenditures, money that is spent on goods, services, and bills. Things that you spend money on. Impulse buying. I gotta have that little popping thing where you put your fingers in the thing and then the rubber and then it goes the other way and then I turn it around. You don't need that. You don't need that. Get that. Leave that on the shelf. It's impulse buy. Long-term goals. Okay. So you want to spend responsibly because you have long-term goals. For you guys, college, right? College is so expensive. And someone might say, don't worry about that. Just get student loans. And that same person will be paying oodles of money, when they're long past college age and not having a fun time doing it. But if you save and budget for your long-term goals, you'll make it easier in the long run, just like doing your math homework. Short-term goals can have short-term goals too. 3 years, 3 months to a year. So you might say, what's a short-term goal? I want to get the new PS75. So I need to save up for 3 months to get this new game system or whatever number they're on. Short-term goals. Needs. All right. You see this? I want to show you this. Mr. Field is eating his lunch. You know what it is? Rice and beans. Because I don't need to eat some fancy thing right now. I'm on a budget, all right? And so, but I do need to eat. We all need to eat. So survival, such as food, water, clothing, shelter. But hey, you can choose what kind of these things you get. Do you want to get the nicest shirt or can you just wear a shirt? Lucky for you guys, you have uniforms. You don't have to worry about that. There's also wants. So please write needs and list 3 examples of needs that you can think of. And then wants, I want to eat a burger, but I need to eat, so I'll eat rice and beans. So goods and services that make you feel comfortable. And wants are okay to have, but you got to put it in the budget. Otherwise, you're going to go broke. Really, true story. Think about and discuss these questions. You need water, you need food, you need clothing. Well, that's true. Is expensive bottled water a need? No, expensive bottled water is not a need. Unless you is the only thing available and you're in a country where if you drink the water, it's going to make you sick. Then I guess it would be a need. But not in general. Go to the drinking fountain. Is a bag of potato chips a need? No, it is not a need. That is not a need. It is not something you need ever. Okay. You need clothing. It's popular. All of these things are wants. What do you want? What is important? So answer these questions. What is important to you? What goals do you have? And do your goals reflect what is important to you? Do you have an idea of what you want your future to look like? You should think about your future because just like we said, You need to plan and then dream big, plan. And hey, you'll achieve it. You want it, you'll achieve it. Unless you want to be a, football star, NBA star. Let me tell you, when I was your age, I wanted to be in the NFL. Not the NFL. All right, but I'm okay with it. Goal setting. Know what you want your money to do for you. Yes. Think about goals you can accomplish this year. So list some short-term goals. List some long-term goals. All right, we said like college is a long-term goal. What else? A car would be a long-term goal. What else would be a long-term goal? Why don't you list them? All right. Making choices is hard. So hard. And then it gets harder when you have to make choices with other people. Having a whole family. Now you're not just making choices for yourself, but for a whole group of people. And if you make bad choices, it's going to affect everybody. So you see Mr. Field, getting to work at 6 a.m. Why am I doing that? Because I have a family and I need to support my family. All right. So you need to make sacrifices. You guys need to start making some sacrifices. All right. Because you need to look at your budget and you need to decide what's in it and what's out of it. That's what money and a budget is about. Choose to spend wisely. So ask yourself if something is a need or a want. Luxury is a want. And like we said, if something is a luxury, but you want it, put it in your budget. If you say, yeah, no, my first car is going to have leather seats. It's going to be a 2024, whenever you turn 16. And so, that's a need for me. Well, then put it in your budget, and then you don't have to feel bad. But don't go to that car dealership when you're 16 and say, well, you wouldn't do that when you're 16, but don't, when it's time to buy your first car because you got your first real job, don't go say, ooh, it's so shiny. I don't care. I'm going to get it. I'll do the car payments later, or even something smaller. Don't buy impulsively. You will not be happy. It's called buyer's remorse. Let me say, what is a budget? Didn't we just? Okay. So now, pause right there. All right, sorry, I wasn't expecting lesson 2 here. What is a budget? So now let's actually create a budget. We talked about the importance. A budget is a record of income and spending. So discretionary income is money that you have to spend after your expenses like electric and house and have been paid for. So that's what it is. Write down all 3 of these. It's a tool to track savings and spending. Budget categories. So you put to create a budget, you create categories such as gas, bus fare, parking, car payment. That would all be one category of things called transportation. Clothing. So then you see the outer circle is shirts, pants, and shoes. Those are types of clothing. Average family budget, 33. Let's see if this fits my family here. 33% house. Is that one? Am I 33%? Mr. Fields at 20. Why not? I might be right about there, a little bit low. Transportation, food. Let's see now, my transportation cost is going to be higher, but you only have so much. Okay, you don't really need to write all that down. Creating a budget. Write this down. Determine your net monthly income. Write that down. Categorize your expenditures. Distribute funds to meet needs and obligations. Determine your discretionary income. So I would love to see that. I would love to see your what you guys think would be in your budget. So we will do that as an assignment. Budgeting your time. I did this with a group before. The time budget. This is so important. You go to school for this amount of time. You do your homework for this amount of time. And then you have all this time. And people waste so much time and then say, I don't have time to do my homework. You have time to do your homework. Yes, you do. You just don't budget, and then you think you don't have time. You live impulsively on your time, but if you budgeted your time, you'd find so much to do your homework. You would. All right, but you got to sit down and calculate the time budget. Opportunity cost, scarcity. We talked about opportunity cost. Scarcity is the fact that there's only so much of something. Like we all learned in the pandemic, there's only so much toilet paper to go around. You can't grab it all, or we can't get it, you know? All right, well, there's only so much time in the day. So how much time are you gonna actually do video? Well, if you haven't done your homework, you shouldn't be doing any time doing video games. Using a budget. So then after you have your budget, you go back and you live your life. And then you go back and you look at your budget. So you look at your time budget and say, did I spend about as much time as I thought? We'll be doing time budgets in class. I don't care what it says in J Finance Park about the time, we're going to do it in addition to what they do. Comparing budgets, average family budget, teen spending budget. Now, as you have taken time to create a budget, as I said a few slides ago, did it include the following? Shoes, cars, music, movies, video games, concerts? Would you add anything in addition to this pie chart to your teen spending? And what do you think about when the average family budget? Is there less that you have for some of the things that, when entertainment's 5%, music and movies 7%, electronics, I don't see that on my family budget. All right, so that is about making a budget. And that is the end, I believe, of the J8 Finance curriculum.